Direct Connection is made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities and is made possible by the generous support of our members. Thank you. Live from Maryland Public Television, this is Direct Connection with Jeff Salkin.
Hi, everybody, and thanks for tuning in for Direct Connection. Ahead tonight, we'll get answers to your questions about the health insurance open enrollment process. But first, Governor Hogan, having completed chemotherapy for lymphoma, had a PET scan this morning, and this afternoon he revealed the good news about his treatment.
As of today, I am 100% cancer-free and in complete remission.
The governor addressed other subjects today, including the terror attacks in France and whether states should accept Syrian refugees.
The immigration issue is one that we'll be looking at very closely. We've been in contact with the Obama administration. Our internal group has been sitting down, looking at the options, and we're going to make a very reasoned and, careful decision about what we do here in Maryland.
Joining us now for more on the terror threat is Tyrone Powers, director of the Homeland Security and Criminal Justice Institute at Anne Arundel Community College. Dr. Powers, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
We've seen far too many terror attacks in recent years. This one, the location, the brutality of it, the scale of it has really shocked people.
Yes, it has. And the reality of the matter is that the groups who are responsible for this, ISIL, ISIS, and Al-Qaeda, have not gone away, have become more sophisticated at planning these events. As we have hardened targets such as airports, transportation venues, they have decided to move towards softer targets that create the same amount, if not more, fear because of our inability to protect all of these targets.
What does that mean for how we can respond? I mean, there's news today, there's a video, representatives of ISIS, Islamic State, threatening Washington, D.C. What do we do?
Well, we increase our intelligence gathering because the preventive state becomes extremely more important now, and we have to embed more. We have to go back to human intelligence. Technology is important, but back to human intelligence. So we will embed more people, not only in terms of here in the United States, but in other countries, because whatever they are experiencing, we can expect that at some point soon, someone will make an attempt here. We are better off simply because we have the oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific. We have borders with Canada and Mexico, and our major concern with Mexico have been the drug cartels. So we're in a better position than France and countries where people can actually go across land, bring weapons, create bombs, have conversations with other people, and move across a land base. But we still have to be careful and watchful because we know for a fact that they have been able to recruit people in place via social media. They have been able to radicalize individuals right here in the United States, not immigrants, not refugees, but individuals who are American citizens. And so we are cognizant of that.
What do you know, with your background in the FBI, counterintelligence, information gathering, what do you know about the process of radicalization? You hear the word all the time. What does it mean? How do you take somebody and turn them into a killer?
Well, they keep probing. They find the disenfranchised individuals. They give them a cause and a mission to be involved in. These are sometimes people who don't believe that they have any mission or any purpose in life. They constantly probe at them. They give them the excitement. They really target young people from that standpoint. In Europe and with the French, they're really dealing with a difficult situation because the fact that Syria is unstable, Libya is unstable, Iraq is unstable. You have people there who have lost relatives, and they're looking for something to be involved in, something to make their life meaningful, and some of them are even looking for a way to die. So they go and recruit these individuals. Here's a purpose, here's a mission, here's a passion, here's a way to make your life meaningful, and they go after them wholeheartedly. And what we have to do is come up with a countermeasure so that we can intercede and intervene in that process.
Let me remind our viewers, if you have a question about terrorism, you can give us a call. We'll have the number on the screen. You could also tweet a question. Our Twitter address is @MPT News. What do these people want? What do these groups want? They're gaining ground. They have almost a country in Syria and Iraq. Why bother to go bomb Paris?
Well, first of all, they believe that there are certain areas that should be completely theirs. For example, Syria, Iraq, those locations should be completely theirs. They had the most difficult time securing those areas when you had those dictators in place. Saddam Hussein, you have Assad in Syria, you had Gaddafi in Libya. But now that those people, and there's no stronghold there, they want to claim those countries as their own, and they want to remove any Western influence from those countries. That's what they argue. But on the other hand, the reality of the matter is that in many cases, they just want to wreak havoc. They are upset. They don't like the West. They want to gather power, gather young people to carry out these attacks. And they're very successful. But let me just say this, too. They're very strategic. We cannot underestimate them. Because someone is evil doesn't mean they're not good at being evil. In fact, I would argue that in some cases, they're better at being evil than we are at being good. And they are educated. 44% of the leadership of these organizations have advanced degrees in engineering. So they're scientific and calculating when they carry out these attacks, which is why you see the precision in the attack in France. You know when to hit, how to set them up in sequence, and so on and so forth. And you even anticipate what the intelligence community and the police community would do in responding to those particular events.
We think of them as barbarians living in the Stone Age. But you're painting a different picture. Yeah,
they're very sophisticated, and we have to accept that. Now, the public in general can think of it as any way they want to, but the intelligence community have to understand that you're dealing with a very sophisticated group that plan out these particular events. And in fact, they have an end game. They see what the results will be before it take place. If you go back to Osama bin Laden, he indicated that after 9/11, the U.S. would send troops to Afghanistan.
That's what he wanted. That was his goal.
And he would fight us there for 100 years. So they're already planning the next step. And we understand that in the intelligence community. And so it's incumbent upon those in the intelligence community to understand that they're fighting a formidable foe, no matter how evil they are. They're not lunatics, because you can't counter a lunatic. But they are evil, but there is some mode and method to countering them. And we're going to have to use a great deal more human intelligence.
Let's take a phone call. Anne Arundel County, this is Dan. Dan, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Yes, I was just wondering who in the government is allowing these Syrian refugees into our country, and with one of the Paris attackers actually being one of these refugees and maybe no records to go on, how could they know for 100% sure that these people are not infiltrated with the terrorists?
Dan, thanks for the phone call. And we should point out in the clip we played from Governor Hogan, a number of Republican governors have said today that they don't want any Syrian refugees. Not clear if it's up to them. Hogan said he wanted to study it a little bit. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, here's the dilemma here. Most of the terrorists that we've had dealt with who have been radicalized, unfortunately, have been American citizens radicalized in the United States. We have a extensive vetting process for individuals that come into the United States. Our most difficult problem has been with the Mexican drug cartels, not with terrorists integrating or immigrating into the United States. And so the vetting process, they will be vetted probably better and more than some of the individuals that we're concerned about living here. The intelligence agencies know that. They know when someone doesn't have a record. They know how to track them down. We are really good at finding out the history of individuals that we would vet through that particular process. So while that is a concern, I think that you will find in the intelligence agencies, the one I used to belong to, the FBI and the Central Intelligence Agency, they're looking at people who are already in place, sleeper cells or people who can be radicalized in the United States, and they're more concerned about them than the Syrian refugees because they have confidence in our vetting process.
The director of the CIA said today that the Snowden leaks have made it more difficult for intelligence agencies to track the terrorists because they've let the terrorists know what we used to do to try to track them. Do you agree?
Well, I think to an extent they have played a role in that. I think the damage it did more so than letting the terrorists know anything is that the nations in which we were running operations in became concerned about us running operations in their country without letting them know. So we began to have to counter the terrorists, and then even some of our allies who had intelligence operations began to push back a little bit and not give us as much help as we needed. This situation in France may change that.
Dorchester County, this is James. James, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Dr. Powers, thank you. Good evening.
Good
I'd
evening.
like to ask you to expand, if you would, on the number of young men in the Middle East and in these countries where we're seeing so much conflict between the ages of 18 and 30. They may have college degrees but are unemployed. They have no future. They have no way to marry. There's no upward mobility through society because of this unemployment, and how these economic conditions create them as fodder for ISIL or one of these other organizations. And I'll take my answer offline. Thank you.
James, great question. Thank you.
It definitely makes it easier to recruit. For example, we knew for a long time that in Afghanistan, the average lifespan was 35 years. Well, I'm not sitting, in America, it's hard for us to see that because we're sitting up 401ks and we're talking about pension plans and
we're concerned about living too long, outliving, right.
They don't have a life expectation of that. So it's easy to recruit them. They're disenfranchised. It's not that they're not educated. And if they can't, as one the time I was working counterintelligence, a young Palestinian young lady said to me, if I can't control the way I live, I'm going to control the way I die, which means they're easier fodder for recruitment. We understand that. Colin Powell, when he was Secretary of State, indicated that the reason why we were building schools in Afghanistan had nothing to do with the humanitarian principles. It had something to do with a counter-recruitment strategy. So we understand that. We know that it's easier for them to recruit there. What threw us off a little bit was their ability to recruit so many people here in the United States who are U.S. citizens who grew up here in the United States, because that radicalization process said, well, this doesn't fit the profile of the individuals that they have been able to recruit in other countries.
Let's get one more phone call. Baltimore County, this is Robert. Robert, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
Yes, hello, how you doing? I'm trying to find out why is it so easy for terrorists to get in our country or whatever, and why do we help them when they get to go in war at each other or whatever, instead of us trying to help ourselves?
Okay, thanks very much.
Well, I don't know if it's as easy to get into the country. We have an open society. We know this for a fact, and history indicates this. Democracies are always going to be an easier target for terrorist attacks because we value our freedom. So we're a little bit more open in society. You're not going to have a whole lot of terrorism in North Korea because it's such a closed society. So we open our society. Again, our issue have been lately, and if you go back and look at the pattern from the Detroit shoe bomber on, they have been American citizens recruited in place, and some of them have grew up here in our system. Social networking and the skill that Al-Qaeda and ISIL and ISIS have used to psychologically profile and reach out to people on social networking is something that we're dealing with now and causing us to monitor social networking much more.
Finally, the threat, the possible alleged threat to Washington. Is there anything that you'd like to see authorities doing that they're not doing at this point?
I think that they are doing everything that they can possibly do. I said that yesterday when we began to look at the security at the NFL games, and we looked at security at the NBA games. The NFL and the NBA and MLB have been so far ahead of the curve in security and drones and cameras and detection devices. The fact the other day that they said they were increasing that, they didn't have to increase it by that much. So I think we're clear on what it takes to harden a target. Our difficulty is, what about the other targets, the soft targets? And that's what they dealt with in France.
Dr. Tyrone Powers, Director of the Homeland Security and Criminal Justice Institute at Anne Arundel Community College. Dr. Powers, thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Still ahead tonight, advice for navigating the open enrollment process. We'll be right back.
The next Maryland Farm and Harvest looks at a family's growing legacy.
I've always worked here. I consider myself fortunate and truly blessed.
And now hops over to Mount Airy.
All of these animals are here for a reason.
That's next time on Maryland Farm and Harvest.
Tuesday night at 7 on MPT.
Next time on Father Brown.
I'm very interested in this exhibition.
A priceless work of art attracts an old foe.
Flambeau. He wants to steal the painting.
Father Brown hatches a plan.
If you set foot in that museum, I'll have you arrested for obstruction.
We have descended to Flambeau's level already.
But will it be enough to stop his nemesis?
A welcome addition to my private collection.
You're nothing but a common thief.
Find out on Father Brown.
Tonight at 10 on MPT.
You'll
You'll really treasure the next Chesapeake collectibles.
This is also an automaton.
They make a lot of these?
There are not a lot of these out there.
They knew that they were making heirlooms.
It's one of their best colors, the cobalt blue.
This was finished in 1574.
They're a great collection, and it's a real treasure for the Baltimore area.
I'm Rhea Feiken. Join me next time for Chesapeake Collectibles.
Thursday night at 8 on MPT.
Joining us now in the studio is Carolyn Quattrocki, Executive Director of the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange. Must be that time of year, open enrollment.
It sure is.
Thanks for coming by. What's different this year?
Well, a number of things. Consumers, when they come to the website, will find a more streamlined application. The website's more mobile friendly. We know increasingly, a lot of people access this through their phones. There are more informational resources also to help guide people through it. And another difference is this year people can purchase dental plan coverage as well as medical plan coverage directly through the website.
Did not know that. So what year is this? Is year 3?
This is year 3, yes.
Okay, so year 1 was bad in terms of the website. Year 2 was good. You didn't have to do a whole lot for year 3?
Well, you know, we're always making improvements.
I'm sure. But some people are able to automatically re-enroll, which wasn't the case the first time around.
Yes, and that is probably the biggest difference this year. For those people who were in coverage this past year, 2015 coverage, they will be passively renewed, we call it passive renewal, into their plan for 2016 coverage, unless they come back and choose another plan. We are urging people to come back and shop and compare and make sure that they're in the right plan for themselves and their families.
What's different in terms of the plans themselves? We know that CareFirst, dominant provider of health insurance, was granted a gigantic rate increase of about 25%.
That's an average, I think, with CareFirst plans. But the thing to remember for consumers is that some plans, the rates have gone up, and others, they've gone down. So again, that's why we're encouraging people to come back and really shop and compare.
So if you wind up in the auto re-enrollment thing without doing anything, without shopping, you could wind up seeing a big increase.
You could. People will still get their tax subsidies that they may qualify for, assuming that their income hasn't changed considerably. But again, that's another reason to come back if there's been a slight change in income or a difference in your household in terms of who you're trying to cover. It really does behoove people to come back and shop around. And I would like to emphasize that, Jeff, that 9 out of 10 people this past year who were in coverage this past year received some kind of financial assistance. So people who think they may not be able to afford it should come and see what kind of assistance they qualify for.
And it's the number might surprise people. For a family of 4, what it takes to get a subsidy.
You're absolutely right. For a family of 4, the household income can be as high as $97,000 and still get some kind of subsidy. It's on a sliding scale, so the lower the income, the greater the subsidy. But the point is to really come and find out what you may qualify for.
Let me remind our viewers, if you have a question about the health exchange, your health insurance options, give us a call. We'll have the number up on the screen. You could also tweet a question. Twitter address is @MPT News. The other thing for 2016 is that the penalty, if you're supposed to have health insurance and you don't, starts to go up.
Yes, again, you're absolutely right. It's jumping from about $300 this past year to about almost $700 for an individual, or 2.5% of the household income, whichever is greater. So it starts to get to be, real money, and you better to get coverage for those dollars you're spending than to just pay a penalty.
Is the most difficult part of this still getting the young invincibles who think they're never going to get sick to sign up for an expense that they don't think they need?
Well, it is a continuing challenge, and we're working very hard to get them in. So far, we're seeing some good enrollment on the part of young people, but we have, for example, an advertising campaign rolling out in a couple of weeks that's geared to young people. We have a real navigator who helps people, guides people through the plans, and a rock band, so we're excited about that. We also have done a lot on social media and have more than doubled our social media following and do a lot with digital.
Let's talk to Earl in Anne Arundel County. Earl, thanks for the call. Go ahead.
I'm retired, and I bought my health care, and I make about $34,000 a year, and I'm paying $327 a month for my health care. And I got a letter from the Maryland Health Connection telling me that next year it's going to be $458 a month with my subsidies. How am I supposed to be able to afford that?
Earl, are you old enough for Medicare?
No, I'm 63.
Okay. All right, we'll get you an answer. Thanks very much for the call.
Yes, thank you for the call. Well, Earl, you are one of the people that I would urge to come back to the website and shop and compare. And there may, in fact, be some plans that would suit your needs, but would be a little less expensive.
The other complaint you hear from people is the deductibles. Silver plan, it can be thousands of dollars, so you wind up paying whatever it is, a few $100s a month, but then the benefit isn't all that accessible. It's one of the things we're working hard to do, which is to really help people and educate them about the number of factors that go into which plan will best suit their needs. So often there's a trade-off between the amount of the deductible and the amount of the premium. And people tend to want the lowest premium, but we're trying to encourage people and our consumer assistance workers, we have 1,500 people around the state who are trained to help people make these decisions if they would like some help. We're encouraging them to not just look at the premium, but consider, their health status, how much they're likely to use health services, and make sure that they make the right decisions in that regard. There's still 4 tiers,
Yes.
Bronze and silver and so forth. What do most people pick?
The overwhelming majority pick the silver plan, which is the second one, 70% actuarial value, which means that the plan will pay 70% of your health care costs. And that's the plan that's best for people who get the subsidies usually.
Okay. Tell me about the new dental insurance. I know nothing about it. How does it work?
Sure. There are 2 different ways to get dental coverage through Maryland Health Connection. You can buy it with your medical plan if you're buying medical insurance. But if for some reason you have medical coverage through some other source, but don't have dental coverage, you can also come and buy what's called a standalone dental plan. So it's not paired with the coverage. So you can do one or the other. And we also have family coverage as well as just child only.
What's happening with the co-ops? Maryland has one. It's called Evergreen. Around the country, the co-ops, which were created under the Affordable Care Act, some have been struggling. The one here is described as going strong.
Yes, we're really pleased. Evergreen is going strong. We're seeing good enrollment so far this open enrollment period. And it's again one of the advantages of Maryland Health Connection. It has, I think, fostered some competition across the state. So we're seeing some, shifts in the market share, and I think that's a good thing for consumers.
Phone call from Delaware, Sussex County. This is Al. Al, thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I thought this was supposed to keep costs under check. Last year, the year before last, I had a $235 premium with a $5,500 deductible. Now, last year I had to get the Obamacare, so it's $486 per month with $6,300 deductible.
Al, hang on. We're going to get you a quick answer. Your thoughts? It's Delaware, but we're probably seeing similar things here.
Well, each state is different, but again, there are a lot of different factors that go into the cost of health care coverage, the underlying costs of health care, the insurance pool. So again, what we're telling consumers is to be smart shoppers and come and really look and make sure they're doing the best they can in terms of what they're enrolling
Just a
in.
couple seconds. How do they get to Human Being Live Help?
Yes, there are a number of different ways. Go to the website. You can find a navigator near you. You can find an insurance broker near you. And
Carolyn Quattrocki from the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange. We have to leave it there. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for watching Direct Connection. Have a good night.
Your health segments are a co-production of Maryland Public Television and the University of Maryland Medical System.
This program was made by MPT to serve all of our diverse communities.